Welcome to the Lovestead.
Hello BookTube, welcome back to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica and today I'm doing the New Year's resolution tag. First thing, I'm sorry if you hear my fish tank air pump buzzing. I haven't replaced it yet, but it's on my to-do list for February, so you've only got to deal with that noise for another week or so. Hopefully, yes. So today I'm doing the New Year's resolution tag. I was tagged to do this by Francois, Mr. Francy Reads. Hey friend. And I don't know off the top of my head who the original creator was, but I will leave all their information in the description box below. Do check out their channel as well as Francois' channel. And here we go with the questions. Question 1. What is an author you would like to read that you've never read before? I've been hearing so many wonderful things about, I'm going to try to say the name with the correct accent, forgive me if I butcher it, but Frederick Bachman? Been hearing a lot of amazing things about his writing, and I have checked out Beartown from my local library and I'm hoping to get to it, I think in February. We'll see. But yeah, this is about a hockey town, and apparently there is a sexual assault that happens, so it's about how this town deals with that assault. That's all I really know about it, other than Frederick Bachman's writing is supposed to be superb. So this is one that I'd like to buddy read. I haven't had anyone take me up on buddy reading it yet. I'm going to read it in February, so if you would like to buddy read it with me, please do let me know. Question 2, a book you would like to read. All of them is the answer. But I think what I'm going to do for this question is direct you to some videos that I have made up in the little linky thing up here. So the first is my Serious About Series video. In that video I talk about a bunch of series that I want to read here in 2022. The second is my These Books Will Self-Destruct video. Those are 5 books that have been on my physical TBR for over 5 years. And if I don't read them this year, I'm going to unhaul them. So those are 5 I'd like to read. Then I'll link you to my books I'd like to buddy read video. It's a list of, I think there's 10 books on that list of different books I would like to buddy read with someone this year. And then I will link you to my 1-year anniversary video that I posted late in the year in 2021, where a bunch of my BookTube friends recommended books for me to read, and those are ones that I want to read in 2022. And then I have an upcoming video called 5-Star Predictions, where I am going to share some book titles with you that I think will end up being 5-star reads for me this year. So if you would like to see some of the books that I am planning or wanting to read in 2022, I do recommend checking out those videos. Question 3, a classic you would like to read. There are several classics that I want to read this year. The first is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and that is a classic about a woman whose husband's ex-wife is like the center of attention in this town. That's all I really know about it. I know it's supposed to be like a gothic classic, which I love gothic classics. So that is one that I would like to read. I would like to read Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson. I've read 2 of Robert Louis Stevenson's other works in the past year or so and absolutely loved them. And so I've got to get to this one, and I really like reading kind of pirate adventure stories in the summer, so I will probably read this one in the summer. And then another classic that I'm for sure going to read is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I have plans to read this in March, and I'll be buddy reading it with my friend Helen and one other person. If you want to join us with that buddy read, let me know in the comments down below. I don't entirely know what Sense and Sensibility is about. I've never seen the movie. I haven't read the synopsis. I like Jane Austen, so I'm gonna read it. Question 4, a book you would like to reread. This one's easy. In February, I'm hosting my first read-along, and we will be reading the book Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and I'll be rereading it in February. I will share the link to the announcement video up here and put some information about the read-along down below as well. If you'd like to join me with that read-along, I would absolutely love it. I think we're going to have a great time. Question 5, a book you've had for ages and want to read. Again, for that, I think I'll refer you to my These Books Will Self-Destruct video, because those are actually 5 books that I've had for a really long time that I would like to read. The books are, if I can remember off the top of my head, Ramona Blue. I can't remember the authors' names for these, so again, just check out that video. But it's Ramona Blue, Dorothy Must Die, Queen Victoria, Demon Hunter, Splintered, and Deep Blue Sea, I think is the last one, what it's called. Question 6, a big book you would like to read. So the big books that I'm thinking of are both fantasy, and the first would be the Greenbone Saga, and the first book in that saga is Jade City. All of the books in that saga are pretty chunky. And then the other thick books that I'm planning to read would be the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson, and this is a trilogy. To my knowledge, it's a trilogy, and all the books in the trilogy for this one are also pretty thick, chunky books because it's a high fantasy series. So Jade City is also high fantasy. It's written by Fonda Lee. I didn't mention that. But from what I've heard about it, it's like fantasy plus mafia story, and I love mafia stories, so I'm looking forward to that. That's all I know about it, other than it's just been very hyped and very beloved by a lot of booktubers whose opinions I trust. And then Mistborn is about a land where there's like ash falling from the sky, and certain people have a specific kind of magic called allomancy. And I think a lot of you know what the Mistborn trilogy is about. Brandon Sanderson is like an icon in the fantasy world, so probably don't need to explain too much about it, but I am going to read this trilogy this year. And this was one of the books in my anniversary book video that Francois actually recommended to me in that video. Question 7, an author you've previously read and would like to read more of. So there were 3 authors in 2021 that were new authors to me that I really like and I want to read more of their work. The first is Cleo Coyle. Cleo Coyle is a cozy mystery author, and they write the Coffee House Mystery series. Really love that series, and I'm going to continue reading it here in 2022. The second author is Sophie Lark. She is a dark romance author. I read her Sinner's Duet in 2021 and here at the start of 2022, and it kind of blew me away, and so I have got to read more of Sophie Lark's work. She has a mafia romance series, which like, ka-ching! And then the third author that I'd really like to read more of is Akwaeke Emeze. Akwaeke Emeze wrote The Death of Vivek Oji, and I read that last year when I was reading for the BookTube Prize. Really, really like their writing, and they have several of their books out that I want to read, especially interested in freshwater. But really I'd like to read their entire work. So that's the third author that I would like to read more of in 2022. Question 8, what's the book you got for Christmas that you're excited to read? Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. My library didn't really have a copy of this, if you can believe that. They had like an audiobook copy, and I don't want to read this one on audio. So my boyfriend got me the physical copy for Christmas. Question 9, a series you want to read from start to finish. So again, if you watch my Serious About Series video, there are several series that I am planning to read this year, but there's only a couple that I think I'm going to actually get through all of. The first one is the Greenbone Saga, and then the second one is the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I've never read the Chronicles of Narnia. Thankfully, the books in that series are pretty short and manageable, so I do think I can fly through that series and get it done start to finish in 2022. Again, Greenbone Saga is written by Fonda Lee. 3 books, I believe just 3 books in that. Maybe there's 4 since they call it a saga. Well, I need to figure that out, huh? And then question 10, a series that you've already started and hope to finish. I'm going to try to list a couple series here that I don't have on my Serious About Series list. So the first one is the Winter House So the Winter House trilogy is by Ben Gooderson. I read the first two in 2021. I just have the last book to read here in 2022. Winter House is a middle grade sort of fantasy mystery series about this hotel called Winter House, and Elizabeth lives at the hotel and she solves mysteries and puzzles with her friends. It's very cozy, it's very sweet, it's very fun. I really, really like it. I'm excited to read this third book in the trilogy, and then I'll have that series done. And then the other one is a cozy mystery series that I didn't put on my series about series list. It's the Spellford Cove mystery series by Samantha Silver. I have read books 1, 2, and 3, and there's 4 and 5 she has published, and book 6 is probably going to come out here this year next. So I'd like to get caught up on those. There's nothing too outstanding about that series. It's just your standard like paranormal cozy where the main character or the sleuth is a kitchen witch and she bakes and has a bakery and solves crimes. But something about that series is so cozy and comforting to me that I can overlook some of the fairly glaring writing issues with it, and I just really just enjoy it. So I will probably get caught up on that series this year as well. Okay, those are the 10 questions for the New Year's resolution tag. Thank you so much, Francois, for tagging me in this. I do want to tag a couple of people. Actually, strike that, because January is like almost over. I guess if you want to do the New Year's resolution tag still, go ahead and do it. I tag anyone who wants to do it. Yeah, and if you just want to let me know that you're here, leave one of those like champagne flute cheersing emojis for New Year's Eve. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!